Shanti. This is the Sakar Murli of 26th of December 2024. Essence. Sweet children, you are now studying to become pure from impure. You have to study this and also teach others. Question. By having which knowledge are people of the world still in the darkness of ignorance? By having which knowledge are people of the world still in the darkness of ignorance? Answer. The knowledge of Maya, with which destruction takes place. People go to the moon, they have a great deal of that knowledge, but no one has this knowledge of the new world and the old world. They are all in darkness of ignorance. Without the third eye of knowledge, they are all blind. Each of you is now being given a third eye of knowledge. You knowledgeful children know that they only have thoughts of destruction in their brains, whereas you constantly have thoughts of establishment in your intellects. Om Shanti. The Father explains through this body. This one is called a human being. There is a soul in this one, and I come and sit in him. First of all, this should be made firm. This one is called Dada. You children should have this faith very firmly. You have to churn this knowledge with this faith. The Father himself says that he enters the body of this one when he is in the last of his many births. It has been explained to you, children, that this is the knowledge of the most elevated Gita, the jewel of all scriptures. Srimad means elevated directions. The most elevated directions are given by the one God, and it is by following his elevated directions that you become deities. The Father himself says, I come when you have become impure by following corrupt directions. You also have to understand the meaning of changing from humans into deities. The Father comes to change vicious human beings into viceless deities. The deities of the golden age are still human beings, but they have divine virtues. Everyone in the Iron Age now has double traits. The whole world is a human world, but here you have godly intellects, whereas they have double intellects. Here you have this knowledge, and there they have devotion. This knowledge and that devotion are separate from each other. There are so many books of devotion, but only one book of this knowledge. There can only be one book of the one ocean of knowledge. Everyone else who establishes a religion only has one book, which is called their religious book. The first religious book is the Gita. The first religion is the original eternal deity religion, not the Hindu religion. People think that the Hindu religion was established through the Gita and that Krishna gave the knowledge of the Gita. When did he give it? They would say from time immemorial. The virgins spoken by God Shiva are not mentioned in any of the other scriptures. You now understand that it is with the knowledge of this Gita that the Father teaches us how human beings became deities. This is called the ancient Raj Yoga of Bharat. It is this Gita that says lust is the greatest enemy, and it was that enemy that defeated you. The Father enables you to conquer that vice and thereby conquer the world and become the masters of the world. The unlimited Father sits here and explains through this one. He is the Father of all souls, whereas this one is the unlimited Father of all human beings. His name is Prajapita Brahma. When you ask people the name of Brahma's father, they become confused. Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar must surely have a father. Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar are shown as deities in the subtle region. Shiva is shown above them. You children know that souls, the children of Shiv Baba, adopt bodies, whereas he remains constantly the incorporeal Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. The soul says through the body, Supreme Father. This is such an easy aspect to understand. This is called the study of Alpha and Beta. Who is teaching you? Who gave this knowledge of the Gita? Shri Krishna cannot be called God because he is a bodily being. Shri Krishna has a crown, whereas Shiva is incorporeal and has no crown, etc. He alone is the ocean of knowledge. The Father is the seed, the living being. You too are living beings. You know the beginning, the middle, and the end of all the trees. Although you are not gardeners, you can understand how seeds are sown and how trees emerge from them. Those are non living, whereas that one is living. Souls are said to be living. Only you souls have this knowledge. No other souls can have this knowledge. Therefore, the Father is the living seed of the human world tree. This is the living creation. All of those seeds are non living. Non living seeds can't have any knowledge in them. That one is the living seed who has all of the knowledge of the whole world. He has all of the knowledge of the creation, the sustenance, and the destruction of the whole tree. How the new tree then emerges is incognito. The Father comes in an incognito way and also gives you this knowledge in an incognito way. You know that the sapling is now being planted. At present, everyone has become impure. Acha, who emerges as the first leaf of the tree? Shri Krishna is the first leaf of the golden age. Lakshmi and Narayan would not be called that. A new leaf is small and then it grows. So there is so much praise of this living seed. Other leaves also emerge, but their praise gradually decreases. You are now becoming deities. The main thing is that we have to imbibe divine virtues. We have to become like them. There are their images too. If these images didn't exist, how could you keep this knowledge in your intellects? These pictures are very useful. These pictures are worshipped on the path of devotion. Whereas you, on the path of this knowledge, take from these pictures the knowledge of how you have to become like them. On the path of devotion, you would never think that you have to become like them. So many temples, etc., are built on the path of devotion. To whom are the most temples built? They would definitely be to Shiv Baba. Then, after him, they would be to his creation. The first creation are Lakshmi and Narayan. After Shiva, they are worshipped the most. You mothers who give this knowledge are not worshipped. You are studying. It is because you are studying that you are not worshipped now. It is when you have been finished studying and have no further need of this education that you will then be worshipped. You are now becoming deities. The Father will not come in the golden age to teach you. Such an education doesn't exist there. This study is for making impure ones pure. You know that the one who makes you as pure as them is worshipped first, and that you are then worshipped number wise. Then, as you come down, you even begin to worship the five elements. To worship the five elements means to worship impure bodies. Your intellects have the knowledge that there was the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan over the whole world. How and when did those deities attain their kingdom? None of them knows this. They say hundreds of thousands of years ago. Anything of hundreds of thousands of years couldn't sit in anyone's intellect. Therefore, they say that it has continued from time immemorial. You now understand that many who belong to the deity religion have been converted to other religions. Those who live in the Bharat call themselves Hindus because once they become impure, they don't feel it is right to call themselves deities. However, people don't have any of this knowledge. They give themselves titles even higher than those of the deities. Although they worship the idols of the pure deities and bow down to them, they don't consider themselves to be impure. In Bharat, especially, they bow down to Kumaris so much, they do not bow down to Kumars. They bow down to females more than males because the mothers are given the nectar of knowledge first at this time. The Father enters this one. You also understand that this Brahma Baba is the great river of this knowledge. He is the river of this knowledge and also a male. The Brahmaputra river is the longest river and it merges into the ocean at Calcutta. The meeting brackets Mela takes place there. However, they do not know that this is the meeting of the Supreme Soul with all souls. That river of water is called the Brahmaputra because they call Brahma God. They believe the Brahmaputra river to be pure. In fact, the Ganges cannot be the purifier. This meeting here is of the ocean and the river Brahma. The Father says this one through whom adoption takes place is not female. These are very deep matters that have to be understood. They will then disappear. Later, human beings create scriptures, etc., on the basis of these things. At first, they had handwritten scrolls, and later, they had very large books printed. They did not have any Sanskrit verses, etc. This is a very easy matter. I teach you Raj Yoga through this one. Then this world will be destroyed, and none of those scriptures, etc., will remain. Those scriptures, etc., will be created again on the path of devotion. People think that the scriptures have continued from the beginning of time. That is called the darkness of ignorance. The Father is now teaching you children through which you come into the light. Everyone in the golden age belongs to the pure family path. In the ironies, they belong to the impure family path. This too is according to the drama. Later on, there is the path of isolation, and that is also called the religion of renunciation bracket sannyas, because they go and reside in the forest. That is limited renunciation. They still live in this old world. You are now going to a new world. Each of you has received a third eye of knowledge from the Father, and so you are becoming knowledgeful. There can be no knowledge greater than this. This that knowledge is of Maya through which destruction takes place. Those people go and do research on the moon. That is nothing new for you. All of it is the pomp of Maya. They show off a great deal and go to great lengths to show some wonders. By showing great wonders, they create a loss. They only have thoughts of destruction in their brains. Just look at what they continue to make. Those who make such things know that the world will be destroyed by them. They continue to test everything. It is said whilst the two cats were fighting, the third one ate the butter. The story is very short, but the play is very long. Their names are glorified. Destruction is destined to take place through them. Someone has to become the instrument for that. The Christians believed that the paradise did exist, but they themselves didn't exist at that time. Nor did those of Islam or the Buddhists. Nevertheless, the Christians never better understanding have understanding. The people of Bharat say that the deity religion existed hundreds of thousands of years ago. So they are Buddhas. The Father only comes in Bharat and makes those who are the most senseless into the most sensible ones. However, that is only when you remember him. Baba explains everything to you so easily. Remember me and your intellects will become golden vessels and you will be able to imbibe this knowledge very well. Only by staying on this pilgrimage of remembrance will your sins be cut away. When you don't listen to these Murlis, the knowledge disappears from your intellects because the Father is merciful. He tells you ways to uplift yourselves. He will continue to teach you until the end. Acha, today is the day for offering bhog. Just offer bhog and quickly come back. To go to paradise and have visions of the deities, etc., is useless. You need a very deep and refined intellect to understand this. The Father says through this chariot, remember me, I alone am the purifier, your Father. The expression I eat with you, I sit with you applies to this time. How could this take place up there? Acha, to you, sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to you, spiritual children, and the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for dharana number 1. The father enters this dada and gives you this knowledge of the Gita in order to change you from human beings into deities, that is, from vicious humans into viceless humans. Therefore, constantly move along with this faith. Follow Srimad and become elevated and virtuous. Second, make your intellect into a golden vessel with the pilgrimage of remembrance. Constantly keep this knowledge in your intellect. For this, you must definitely listen to and study each Murli. Blessing, may you be a constant yogi and conquer Maya by remaining aware of your position. Those who have a worldly position never forget their position. In the same way, your position is that of a Master Almighty Authority. Keep this in your awareness at all times. Every day at Amrit Vela, let this emerge and you will become a constant yogi and thereby receive help throughout the day. Maya cannot come in front of those who are Master Almighty Authorities. When this awareness of your highest position remains stable, it will be easy for you to conquer Maya, the ant. Slogan, those who make the being, the soul elevated are true effort makers. Slogan, those who make the being, the soul elevated are true effort makers. Om Shanti.